You need to know the things I go over in this video, because imagine accidentally spending one of these bills that are worth a lot more money than their face value. Please do not spend these bills. If you do, then you're pretty much doing that at your own risk. Honestly, all this really comes down to is knowledge. The more you know, the better off you'll be to make sure that you aren't getting scammed and ripped off or accidentally wasting money. So let's hop into it. So this $1 bill sold for $4,200. That's right, a $1 bill sold for $4,200. Now imagine accidentally spending this bill later to find out that you had a crazy rare note like this. So first of all, this note was graded by PMG a 67 EPQ. The highest achievable grading is 70. Next, this is a star note. Most people think that just because they have a star note means that their bill is really rare and valuable. I'll tell you right now, that is the case sometimes, but not always. First, you need to know what a star note is. To keep this brief, when they're printing sheets of these bills, if there is a mistake or error on a sheet of bills, a quality control manager will simply mark off the sheet and they'll destroy the sheet and produce a new sheet of bills that has a star at the end of the serial number, meaning that it's replacing the one that they destroyed. That's really important for bookkeeping purposes for the BEP, which is the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. Now, it's important to know, again, how many mistakes were there in a print run will dictate how many star notes exist. It comes down to supply and demand. The more star notes out in circulation there are, the less valuable it's going to be because there's so many of them. Now, during certain print runs, they didn't have many mistakes, so there weren't that many star notes. There's some print runs where they don't make a single mistake. That means there's no star notes out there for specific runs. But one of the biggest reasons why this note sold for $4,200 is because it's a web note. Now, I know this is a lot to take in, so feel free to pause the video, go back at any time. But essentially what a web note is a specific process that the BEP was using during the time because they needed to produce a lot of $1 bills. Now, the way they used to and still do today produce bills is by sheets. It's still a fast process, but they wanted to go faster. So what they did is they adopted the same process that they use for newspapers. Newspapers are printed in a single roll instead of in sheets. Doing it this way, you can produce a lot more banknotes. So essentially, they're rolling through these sheets of bills, producing tons of them, and then they eventually stopped. Now, enough of that. What do you actually need to look for to see if you have one of these bills? There's pretty much three areas that are very important. The first one is Washington's face. I'm going to throw up a few diagrams here. On the web notes, Washington's face is going to look more faded and less colorful than a regular issued note. Next, the plate position. Without boring you with too many details, the plate position is essentially where the note is positioned on the plate that they are producing from. Web notes have a distinctively different plate position on the front bottom right hand side of the bill. Normally issued bills are going to have numbers and letters, while web notes are only going to have a number there. Now, the last and most easily distinguishable area is if you look on the back of the bill, you're going to see the back plate number is located in a different area. So it's to the right of "In God We Trust." If your bill has one of these, you have a web note, and it's definitely going to be worth a lot more than $1, especially if it's in really good grade. Because remember, this one that graded at a 67 sold for $4,200. Wait, 90% of you that watch the videos are still not subscribed. So you better subscribe right now so we can keep the lights on. Wait, no, I was kidding. I'm not going to spend a ton of time here, but this is a very obvious double print error. This $2 bill sold for $19,200. Really quickly, I've seen a lot of people try to fake this error by running it through their printer. I highly advise against that, but be careful if you're ever buying one of these bills not to get scammed and ripped off. You can avoid that by buying something that's already certified. But a good rule of thumb is, look guys, remember, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. If there's someone on Facebook or whatever trying to sell one of these bills for $100 and you saw that on my video it sold for almost 20 grand, please, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. But this is a genuine double printed overprint error. Remember, the overprint, which is the last step of the printing process for these bills, is the district and treasury seal along with the serial numbers there. If you have something like this, please contact an expert. You have something incredibly rare. This one sold for $19,200. So this bill sold for $29,900. Now, I spent a good amount of time going over web notes, and this is also a web note, but remember, this one is in much lower graded condition. You can physically see those folds on the bill. This note was graded by PC UCGS currency as a 40 PPQ. PPQ means premium paper quality, so even if your bill is folded, it can still have premium paper quality. As soon as there's a tear or any dirt on the bill, chances are you're not going to get that premium paper quality designation. That PPQ alone will increase the value of the bill, but the main reason why this $1 web note sold for so much money is because of one little thing. Now let me know down in the comment section below whether or not you noticed the reason why this bill is so rare before I tell you right now. Go ahead, say yes or no in the comments below if you can see it. So if you look at the last digit in the serial number, you're going to see a star on the left serial number, but on the right serial number, you're going to see a letter L. This is an incredibly rare error that will pretty much never happen unless one of the serial number printers gets jammed, just like it did in this instance. What you need to know is that if you have a web note and you have a serial number error like this, you have a bill that's so rare. Please don't get scammed and ripped off. Do your homework. Find someone trustworthy. I offer a completely free ebook on my channel. All you got to do is click the link below, but you don't have to do that. What I would say is keep doing your homework and research and do not get scammed and ripped off, please. Now, $100 is a lot of money, but this $100 bill sold for $28,200. Now, I don't even want to think about someone who finds a bill like this and accidentally spends it or brings it to a pawn shop and they offer them $500. I get it. $500 is a lot of money, but wouldn't you rather have $28,200? I know I would. So I'm going to go over this one pretty quickly. So this is a 1928 100 Federal Reserve note. Now, it's important to know that this is a numeral type bill and that 1928 was the first year they ever issued these $100 bills that are in the small size. By small size, I just mean the same size in your wallet or purse. Before that, they had large bills, but that's for another video. So what you need to know is that if your bill from 1928 is in really good condition like this and there's no folds or anything like that, you could have a bill with a lot of money because this one sold for $28,200. Not spending too much time here, but pretty much the same thing. You have a 1928 $50 bill that grades very highly. It's just important to know that the earlier dated your bill is and the higher graded it is typically means that your bill is going to be worth more money. Now, what happens if you find one of these bills? The first thing you need to be doing is making sure you don't fold it or tear it or anything like that. Keep it safe, keep it flat, because a single corner fold will dramatically decrease the value of the bill. If I put a fold down the center of this bill, which hurts me to even think about, you're pretty much cutting the value right in half. So do not do that, because again, this note sold for $26,400. This $20 bill from 1928 has a B after the series 1928. This is also a star note, and it's a light green seal note. So the lighter the seal and serial number on your bill is, it's going to add a little bit more value to the bill. I personally like light green seals over dark green seals because they're pretty uncommon. But because this one graded at a 65 EPQ, it sold for $18,000. So you can go to the BEP right now online and buy uncut sheets similar to this. Now, obviously, this is a sheet from 1928, so you're not going to be able to get your hands on this one for too cheap. But essentially, this person got this sheet back then. There is a face value of $120. So when they picked the sheet up, they paid $120. And the math I did there was at $10 and there's 12 bills. So 10 times 12 is 120. And they were able to sell this uncut sheet of 1928 $10 bills for $8,812. So this bill sold for $54,625, and this is why. So this one's got a few things going on for it. So first of all, we know that star notes are typically going to bring more money than non-star notes. Next, we also know that 1928 is the date we want to be looking for. 1928 is a very good date for your $10 bill. But the reason why this note sold for so much money is because, one, it's a crisp, uncirculated bill. That means there's not a single fold anywhere on this bill. But the biggest reason is the fact that this is a 1928 C. Now, C is a letter that you typically do not see, no pun intended, after the 1928 date. There are such a small quantity of these bills in existence. And remember, it comes down to supply and demand. If there's not a lot of them out there and collectors really want them, they're going to pay a premium regardless of how much money it is. All of these things combined allowed it to sell for $54,625. If you enjoyed this video, smash the subscribe button and stay tuned for the next one.